Have you ever wondered what happens when your favorite movie gets turned into a TV series? That was the question that led me to revisit the adaptation of Four Weddings and a Funeral. Um, but before diving in, here's a friendly reminder to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. Four Weddings and a Funeral has always been a classic for Hugh Grant fans and lovers of British rom-coms. Uh, when the TV series adaptation created by Mindy Kaling and Matt Warburton first aired, uh, I was lukewarm about it. I watched a few episodes and didn't feel entirely drawn into the story. So I took a break. Um, um, Sometimes timing makes all the difference because upon giving the show another chance, I found myself enchanted by its charm and layers. And the bittersweet realization, however, was knowing that there wouldn't be more seasons waiting for me. Um, there's something inherently magical when a show pays homage to its source material without simply copying it. The TV adaptation managed to retain the soul of the original while crafting a fresh narrative, resonant in its own right. The film, after all, was groundbreaking largely because it presented flawed characters navigating messy relationships, and the series didn't lose sight of this. It avoided mirroring the story and instead reimagined it for a newer audience, embracing both unique and familiar angles. For fans of adaptations like me, the fine line between respecting the original and bringing something new can feel like walking across a bridge perched precariously above crashing waves. Uh, but this series struck a beautiful balance. It wasn't just the storyline that tugged on my heartstrings, it was its complicated, messy, and flawed characters that drew me deeper into its world. Um, Maya, played by Natalie Emanuel, walked into one moral conundrum after another, um, from an affair with her boss to romantic feelings for her best friend's fiance. Um, um, Ansley, Rebecca Rittenhouse's character, seemed to bear everyone's heartbreak on her wedding day. Zara's quirky selfishness and Gemma's apparent snobbery added vibrant layers to the ensemble cast. The women weren't glossed over as uh, pristine heroines. There were deeply human, and their mistakes made them relatable. That's rare. That's the scale light. And let's admit it. If they were perfect, we wouldn't have much reason to care about them. What, uh, as much as the series was about individual messes, it was the relationships that ultimately stitched everything together. Maya and Kesha's love story became a focal point, while Craig and Zara's relationship evolved in ways I didn't expect. Uh, Even the less central romances, like those of Usher and Fatima, or Tony and Andrew, had an undeniable pull on my heartstrings. It's rare for a rom-com series to make you feel invested in every couple, but this show did just that. By the end, I found myself unapologetically rooting for all these tangled love stories. And while the romance was certainly captivating at Titan, the story didn't shy away from unexpected twists. I genuinely gasped when Quentin's death was revealed. It caught me off guard entirely. With The series had me convinced Kassia's father would be the one facing the tragedy, but instead, the lives of Gemma and Quentin took a heartbreaking turn. These moments of shock uh, added depth, grounding the narrative in a bittersweet realism that elevated it above the typical rom-com fare. If there's one wish I could make for the series, it would be to see it continue as an anthology. Um, Imagine each season introducing new characters, all tied together by the same theme: four weddings, one funeral. Perhaps a character from one season could subtly link to another, um, creating a web of connections that unfolds organically. The possibilities were endless for this concept to thrive. And while it didn't come to fruition, it's tempting to dream about what could have been. And lightheartedly, I'll admit that watching a show like this reminds me of attending a wedding. You laugh, shed a tear, and ultimately eat all the cake, even if you didn't really need that extra slice. It's proof that flawed characters, emotional twists, and surprising humor can leave you utterly full, but somehow still wanting more. Um, with that said, thanks for watching, and until next time,